This country is literally destroying the middle class. Like, do we even have a middle class anymore? Or is it just like the haves and the have-nots? Because the haves are really, they're having, and the have-nots are really struggling. And I'm getting so stinking frustrated because I don't know how much more I can help my adult kids.
I want to know so badly the percentage of people my age that their parents are helping them. And that is completely fine. I wish that I was in that position. I think sometimes I feel a little bit jealous because I know that my friends definitely have their parents helping them.
We are being lied to about the state of the economy.
At this point, I seriously think Gen Z is just screwed.
Millennials and Gen Z are dealing with the gradual erosion of what the American dream was supposed to look like.
The skyrocketing cost of living has left millions of people working at full-time jobs or a number of part-time jobs still unable to afford a place to live.
Day 3 of Uber Eats after an 8-hour shift at my job to provide for my 4 kids and stay-at-home wife.
I know several young men right now in their mid-20s who are living at home. They have full-time jobs. The rest of us are living in apartments. I get married in 4 months. We are not buying a house.
It's not fair. I feel like I'm perpetuating the lie that got us here in the first place. This whole American dream was because people kept saying the things that I'm telling my son right now, like work hard, go to school, get an education. Like, what am I doing?
Atlanta and outskirts is crazy. I imagine the whole country's like this, but it's more people in higher populated areas. But I mean, it's literally gotta be 50 cars out here, and you can tell we all are posted up.
So I've been in the construction industry for a little over 15 years, and something that I've noticed, the first 10 years, I built nothing but new construction apartment complexes in Los Angeles and Orange County. 2 things that I noticed. One, the majority of the apartments we built were luxury apartments. And 2, some of the apartments we built were low-income government housing apartments. And nothing we built was just a regular apartment. Nothing was classified as just a regular apartment. So basically, nothing was for the middle class. And I noticed that about 4, maybe 5 years in, I'm like, man, like, hey guys, this is the last time you'll be in this apartment complex because none of us could afford to live here. You know, we'd all tease each other and joke about it, but it was kind of serious. So I kind of seen that we were going in this direction where sooner or later we wouldn't really be able to afford, people wouldn't be able to afford to really just rent anywhere. And I didn't expect it to be where it is today, but the housing prices are ridiculous. And I get it. Nobody wants to invest in building a regular apartment complex. Nobody wants to make less money. But at a certain point, we have to think, where's the middle ground? Where's the middle ground? Where do we meet in the middle? Why can't we all win?
I know several young men right now in their mid-20s who are living at home. They have full-time jobs. The rest of us are living in apartments. I get married in 4 months. We are not buying a house. I saw someone on Twitter call this permanent adolescence. That's exactly what it is. And it's going to get worse. Donald Trump just said he wants people that already own homes to see their home values go up. That's sounding a lot like I will never own a home. When we enrich boomers and Gen Xers at the expense of Gen Z, we are severing our ability to leave the nest. Why do you think people are having kids so late? I'm a capitalist, but I will tell you this is exactly why democratic socialist figures like Zohran Mamdani are gaining so much popularity, because at least someone is listening to us. The future I think a lot of us see for ourselves is that we continue to live in boxes, AI replaces all of our jobs, and we have to live off some stimmy check from the government. That's bleak.
Millennials and Gen Z are dealing with the gradual erosion of what the American dream was supposed to look like. And it doesn't happen in this one big moment of clarity. It's a slow, gradual process of making financial decisions every day that really wears on you. I'll give you an example. Last year, my wife and I bought a home, and we're in New York, so obviously high cost of living area. We had to put down $200,000 for that home. And I remember sitting there, sending the wire to the attorney for the escrow the night before closing and just being like, this is insane. Like, is this even worth it? The reason was because the neighborhood we were buying in was not even the first choice or even really second choice of neighborhood that I would like want to live in. And I know that sounds really entitled and privileged, and I don't want to come off that way. I'm very grateful to have even been in the position to purchase a home. But my point is that as a millennial, you have to do so many things right to get to that position. And then once you get there, you're spending that much money on a place that's like not even really like your first choice of wanting to be in. And so ultimately what I'm trying to say is we are the first generation that really has to pay more for everything, but downgrade our life in every way. Which is why I think you see millennials and Gen Z just really not even believing in the concept of the American dream anymore. And this coincides with the rise of buy now, pay later services and just the rise of consumer debt. People feel like, why am I even saving for a house I'm probably never going to be able to afford in a future that doesn't exist? I might as well go to Coachella and enjoy that fun experience in the now.
Things are just so randomly expensive. Like, I need a ladder, literally for one task. So I go to Home Depot, like, oh, no problem, I'll get a ladder. Why are ladders $100?
We are being lied to about the state of the economy and how we are doing right now financially. Some people will say that our inflation is around 30 to 32%. No, our inflation is anywhere from 55 to 65%. See, inflation was 35% 2 years ago. Now it's doubled from that. And you know that's true because a buggy of groceries from 2015 that was $215 is now $681. You don't get from $215 to $681 with 32%. No. And it's everything. It's everything you buy. Me and my wife went to get some food on the way home yesterday, and we stopped at Crystal's and got 24 Crystals, no fries, no drinks, just the Crystals. It was $48. A couple years ago, that was $18. It's $48 now. The economy is so bad, no one is going to survive much longer. And what they're doing is they are purposely destroying they are crippling the dollar on purpose. Because if you make the dollar worthless to the point of we have no more buying power anymore, well, it's going to put us over a barrel and force us to switch to a new currency. And of course, what's going to be right there to be ready for us? Digital currency. They'll say, well, digital currency is safe. It's safe. Nobody can mess with it. It's the best way to go. But why would you want digital currency? Why would they want it? It's because everything that you buy can be turned off. See, digital currency can be controlled. So if they say, well, you bought too much ammunition this month, you can't buy any more ammo. Or you bought too much meat this month, you can't buy any more meat. You've done so much driving this month already, you don't need to drive anymore. It's too much gas. You can't buy any more gas. Cash means freedom. Cash is king. If you have cash money, that is ultimate freedom because you can buy whatever you want and nobody knows. It's private, it's personal. You can buy whatever you want, it's cash. But as soon as you have to use digital currency, there's a trail of breadcrumbs everywhere. They know everything you buy. They know everything. And if they can decide one day that you said something on social media they didn't like, or you go too much against the grain, and they turn off your money, and you can't buy nor sell nothing. Now, what do you think that sounds like? You can't buy or sell unless you have it. It's coming.
So I lied to my son today, my 5-year-old. He asked me a pretty simple question that any 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, any kid would probably ask their parent. And to me, it hit different because today he said, why do I have to go to school? I don't want to. And I told him, because it's important to get an education is important, to be smart and to understand how things work is important. I told him, so that way in the future, you can get a good job and you can earn money so you can get a good house and have a nice life for yourself. You gotta go to school, you gotta get smart to do that, And it's getting harder to do these things and say these things to him because I really am lying to him, and I am fully aware of that. And I think that's the worst part of all of this is that been lying to myself, obviously, about just trying to maintain a positivity of some shred through all of this. But I think that I'm sure a lot of moms share this feeling. It's like, well, what do we tell our kids? What is the motivational factor? Like, go to college and get into massive amounts of debt for a job that you might not be able to even get, for a degree who knows it's going to be there or not, for a field who knows if it's going to exist, in a country that who knows if it's going to even be a country still. So you can afford a house that nobody can even afford today. I'm expecting him to be able to afford it in 20 years. Maybe if he gets sick, what is he going to do? Afford health care? Where? What am I cheerleading him for? Like, I feel so bad because he is like the only bright light in this world I feel like I have left to be motivated for. And I feel like it's a lie. I shouldn't feel like this. I have what I need. I have a home, like a beautiful marriage to my husband, his father. We've created a family, jobs. We have everything that I was told would be the dream, like the dream, the end goal. And none of it feels real because none of this is actually real. Everything, property taxes on the house, that's going to just keep going up. So there's people who are losing their homes because they can't afford it. Insurance for what? For married couples and now even for kids, and just keeps racking up. So what was the whole family goal for? It was go to school for what? All these degrees that they're shutting down? Thank God I didn't go into nursing or something like that. What are we telling our kids? And I try to be really as honest as I can with him. He's only 5.5, but he knows who the bad man is. He knows what bad people do. We can drive past construction sites where they're clearing trees and land, and he'll sit there and call it out and say, that's bad. Don't do that. That's bad for the environment. We need to save land and areas and trees. And I'm so scared, at what point do I stop lying to him about all of this? Because it's not fair. I feel like I'm perpetuating the lie that got us here in the first place. This whole American dream was because people kept saying the things that I'm telling my son right now, like work hard, go to school, get an education. What am I doing? What are we all doing? I don't know what I'm doing.
Day 3 of Uber Eats after an 8-hour shift at my job to provide for my 4 kids and stay-at-home wife. Here we go. All right, so I'm on my way to Daytona Beach right now. I did shower, change my clothes, get something to eat, but now I'm ready to go, and yeah, I'm excited to see what the night brings. I'll turn on the app once I get there. So I just hit this random pothole in the road. Definitely hit the bumper of my car, but I don't see any damage, so we're gonna keep going. All right, first order of the evening, 2.4 miles, $6. Let's do it. All right, this is a shop and deliver order, so I'm walking into Dollar General right now. So I need to pick up 5 items. So it has me scan the items, guys. All right, so far so good. That wasn't so bad. Check it out. That seems pretty good. I just finished my first delivery. Now I'm going to 7-Eleven. I keep seeing comments telling me I should do DoorDash. So on my next video, I'm going to do DoorDash and see how it compares. All right, it was definitely a little bit sketchy in there, but I'm fine. We're going to deliver this stuff. It should be good. Come down the driveway to the screen-in area. It's pitch black out here at this house. Alright guys, I survived. Got another order coming in. Let's do it. I'm hoping that'll be my weirdest one of the night, but hey, life is full of surprises, so. There's Pizza Hut right in front of me, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. It's dark. Alright, that took forever. It sure smells good though. I'm really starting to put a lot of miles in my car doing this so much.
Hello.
Hey, this is your Uber Eats driver. I'm looking for your place. I don't really see any numbers on the building, but I think I'm at the right spot right outside the door. Hey, oh yeah, it had me on the other side. Yeah. No, that's okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great evening.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
I don't know why you won't tell me that you're out there as opposed to inside, so.
Yeah, I don't know, but I'm glad I found you. So.
Thank you.
Yep.
Have a great night.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
you too. All right, I'm parked in front of Steak and Shake. It is pretty slow tonight. Remember, I'm paid by the order, not by the hour. So, yeah. All right, guys. For some reason, my Uber Eats is an hour behind. But as you can see, I started basically at 6:03 p.m., ended at 8:36 p.m. So I did this for 2.5 hours. I made $15.02. All right, so I did just do the math on this. That comes out to $6.01 per hour that I made for the time I did this. Keep in mind, that is before taxes, before gas, and before the wear and tear on my car. So yeah, do you think doing Uber Eats is worth it, guys? And do you think Uber Eats is paying their delivery drivers fairly? I'd like to hear in the comments below.
Food prices are getting absolutely ridiculous. Last week, I paid $5.79 for a bag of Ghirardelli baking chips, and today they were $7.39 for the 10-ounce bag that I literally bought just last week. Not even last week, on January 4th, so what, 6 days ago. The 20-ounce bag was $10.99, and now it's like $13.99. These food prices are getting ridiculous. Like, what is with that jump? That is crazy. And mind you, this is from the exact same store. I don't care. Nothing deserves a $2.50 price jump.
At this point, I seriously think Gen Z is just screwed. In 2026, Gen Z just simply earns way less than it costs to survive. The average Gen Zer makes about $25K a year, which is around $21,000 a month, and spends basically all of it on bills or rent. Nearly half of Gen Z runs out of money before the end of the month ends, and that's not just budgeting, that's just survival at that point. And don't get me started on student loan debt, because the average Gen Zer also has about 30K of student loan debt on top of all of that. We are spending more on essentials than any other previous generation, and wages just keep going down, and the cost of living just keeps going up. You're not failing in life. The system is just completely fucked us over. Budgeting does help, don't get me wrong. I still use mine to budget and track all of my expenses, but the system is still failing us.
You can barely even survive in our system if you live on integrity and ideals, if you don't come from a family that already has money. So in order to get money, which is how you survive, you have to almost always go against, you have to betray yourself, you have to sell your time, and our system rewards and actually requires from you narcissism, greed, subservience just to survive. But if you want to rise, then greed, the willingness to exploit, being good at participating in a human ranking system. You have to have bad qualities to survive. Do you know how hard it has been for me to learn how to survive without selling myself in this system because I was not born into money?
You want to know what I've just been thinking about? The absolute endless buffet of taxation that the government has a seat at every course. I mean, as a roofer, right? If I want to start from the very beginning and I want to open a business, right? I have to pay the government to open a business and register that business with my state in order for that business to be taxed. Now, in Florida, I have to pay the state to get licensed. And then I have to pay for ongoing education to maintain that license. All fees to the government. But what's funny then is for then me to operate, if I want to work in any towns or municipalities, I have to pay to be registered just to exist and operate in those municipalities. Then, in order to actually do work, obviously, I have to buy material. And in Florida, for those materials to be allowed to be used, the manufacturer has to pay to have those products approved and reviewed every couple years. And those fees are taxed that the material then ends up passing down to me in the form of cost. But then for them to sell that material to me, their sales tax when I buy that material, and then they're being taxed on the revenue that they have left over. Then whenever I go to use that material, in order to use that material on a job, I have to pay for a permit in order to be able to do work on said job. Then once that permit is paid for, any income I make from that job that was already taxed 10 ways till Sunday is then taxed on the business level. And then the money that's paid to my employees is taxed on their end. And it's just crazy to me. Isn't that insane?
Cost of living increases are not raises. Like we just did at our company that I'm the CEO of, we just did cost of living increases, and we did them for everybody in the company. Social Security Administration said 2.8% was the cost of living increase. Great. Everybody gets that cost of living because that's the pace of inflation, just to keep up. If you are a company who's out there and you're saying, hey, here's your raise of 3%, when really it's just cost of living, that's not the same thing. That's not the same thing. You need to give raises separately from cost of living increases, and raises come from doing a great job. Cost of living increases are just to keep up with inflation. That's it. It is your basic duty as a leader to make sure that people are taken care of, and moving people up to keep up with inflation is just a good thing to do. I don't believe that the government should tell us to do this. I just believe that you need to do it as a leader. Do the right thing. Take care of your people.
Hey guys, I'm at Walmart. Check this out. Look at the price on these snow boots for kids. This is absolutely absurd. We're supposed to keep our kids' feet warm. $50 for a pair of snow boots? Insane.
This is one of those things I talk to my friends about, but I've never said publicly. Do you ever wonder how people are affording things? Like, my husband and I do pretty decently. We own a home. We each have a car with car payments. We have a moderate amount of student loan debt. We have one kiddo. We live in a rural town outside of Portland, Oregon. I feel like as far as millennials go, we're probably pretty middle of the road. And I think our spending is probably pretty middle of the road too. I budget, I try to watch our bills. We don't do a lot of shopping, but Amazon shows up more than I'd like. But then I see people who are like regular, and by the way, no judgment passing on these. This is just me wondering how this is possible. I see people who are regularly getting their nails done, regularly getting their hair done. They're constantly buying new home decor items. They're constantly buying new clothing that's on trend. Like, I just watched a video of a woman talking about how her costs for her pedicure are $200 for every pedicure. And like, while that's great, and I'm sure it's like a gorgeous pedicure, I don't doubt that the service is awesome. I'm just like, how is somebody affording to do that regularly? And moreover, like, how are there enough people who can afford to do that to like make that service worth it, I guess, is part of it too.
How come it's always we can't afford to pay our workers more than $15 an hour, but never we can't afford to pay our CEOs millions of dollars a year?
Guys, I think I'm crashing out. This is the indicator of the recession. You can't tell me toothpaste is all $7, $7, $7, $7, $10. Like, dude.
How is anyone affording anything? Because everything is expensive. It's like looking at Zillow and there's like a 2-bedroom townhouse that's a fixer-upper and it's like $875,000. Get bent. Or you're paying like $1,200 a month for some shitty Honda that like screams when you start the engine. Like, I don't understand. And like concert tickets, I know I've mentioned this before, but they're like $600 just to like sit behind a pole. But if you want like a decent area where you can breathe the same air as the freaking stage, it's like $900. What the? Or like all these people are going on these lavish vacations to like Greece or like Ireland. What? Or like kids' sports fees, they're like $300 and you get like some shitty polyester jersey and you don't even get shorts, it's just the jersey. Is this real life? So I'm convinced either one of a few things is happening. People are selling their feet for money. They're freaking selling plasma. They're literally selling nose nachos, or they're married to someone super wealthy, because I have no idea how the hell anyone is affording to.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Furaha. If you're watching me for the first time, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for choosing to watch this video to this point, and I really appreciate your time and the effort that it has taken you to get this far. Now guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel, if you're new to the channel, and anyone else that has not subscribed to my channel, whether you're watching my videos or not, please consider subscribing right now. Please don't forget. And for those returning subscribers, thank you so much guys for always being in support of my content, in support of my channel. You have encouraged me, you have always been there for me. I don't take that for granted. Thank you so much, and I hope that you're keeping safe from wherever you're watching me from. So guys, on today's video we are talking about white people complaining about the silence of black people. Now, this is not something that is new to the ears of black people, because it has been happening. Now, white people keep complaining about black people not being part of the struggle, the part of the struggle of, talking about how life is hard, how things are not working out, how America and the American dream has become something that is like a lie, which is really a lie. And I remember when someone said that, for you to believe the American dream right now, for you to live the American dream right now, you have to really be in slumber, you have to be sleeping for you to believe that. Because, and they even went ahead and said, it's the reason why it was called the American dream. Yeah, you experience it only when you're sleeping. Now, this is due to the fact that life has become terribly awful in America, and many people are really struggling. Now, I do understand there are many people that are not struggling. Of course, when you're talking about struggle, it's relative. But we're talking about everyone feeling the impact of the economy and the things that are happening. Things have become expensive. We have people that do not feel the impact of groceries going up, the prices. We have people that do not feel when housing becomes a problem, because probably they bought houses and stuff like that. But we have the people, the middle class, and the people that are struggling, who are barely affording groceries. And you see, when you want to know that the economy of a place is really in a bad place, you see it from stuff such as, people not being able to afford groceries, people not being able to afford food basically, and stuff like that. It helps you to understand that the extent to which this economy has affected people is really not a joke. Yeah. Now, the people of America are complaining, and especially white people. They're complaining about whatever Trump is doing to them. He's not making life easier, and this has been happening for quite some time now. When someone is not working, you always give them time. You think maybe they're working on something else, and then they will come deal with the issues that are really affecting you. But when you realize that they're taking way too long and they're not even talking about it, they're not paying attention, they're not listening to people, then you know that that is not even in their plans to begin with. Now, President Trump has done nothing short of that. He has been acting as if he doesn't hear white people or Americans complaining about the situation and the economic situation of that. Now, people have been complaining for way too long, but he has not paid mind to that. He has not addressed it. He has not said a thing about it, and there has not been any change to make people like relax and feel like there's someone that is taking care of them. Now, when you elect leaders, political leaders, that is usually the work that they're supposed to do, to represent you and your struggles, the things that you're going through. They need to go address them in their sittings, and to make sure that something is done on that. Yeah, but that is not the situation with the Trump government right now. These people, you sometimes wonder if they hear black people or white people complain. You wonder if they really, care about Americans. Now, the problem is not even that. The problem is when white people are now trying to fix black people into these chaos, because they're talking about black people not being, reliable. They're not available for them to help them, to hear their cry, because they're complaining about being unable to afford groceries and food, not getting enough food stamps. not being able to afford housing. Most of them, they're actually talking about being like a paycheck away from being homeless. Some of them are actually very homeless already. And when we're talking about situations such as those, what comes to the mind of a black person, and especially black people in America, the black community at large, is the fact that these were the things that black people were trying to avoid. They were trying to complain about these things and talking about we need to um, so black Americans warned white people, they warned the whole of America and everyone. We know we're basically talking about everyone that is in America, immigrants, everyone that is able to vote. They were warned. Black people talked about President Trump not being a good fit. And they gave reasons. Some of the reasons they gave was the fact that this guy does not care about anyone. He's a selfish man. He's a convicted felon. That is really not the kind of person that you want to elect as your president, like your number one guy in the country. You do not want someone like that, because that should just tell you that he stands for stuff that will be uncomfortable for most people, and he will not find fault in some of the things that people do, the bad people, the evil people in society. Now black people warned people about this many times, and they talked about it, and these things are actually in receipt in on social media, because social media records these things. Now, black people talked about, we need to find someone that is worthy of this position. We need to find someone that can do the job, yeah? Someone that cares about our interests, someone that cares about America, someone that actually loves America. So when these white people decided to vote him in, and they voted him on the basis of him being a racist, him being white, him being, their own kind, and that was all the reason that they gave for voting for him. Now black people became annoyed about that, and they decided that whatever lessons these white people have refused to learn before, let them learn by experience. And now when they are talking about experience, it is these things that are happening right now. Now white people are realizing that the whole time black people were right about the things they were saying. They may not have had like a very conclusive way of saying it, but they knew that this guy was not the best fit for being a president. Now, when they said that, the white people did not believe them. They thought maybe black people are talking like that because they do not want a white man to lead them. Maybe they are saying all these things because they are jealous, because they are feeling like they have been taken away from power. You remember there was Obama that was in power, and now they decided to do this as a punishment to black people. Now, when you decide that you're going to punish me by electing someone that is bad for you, you should be very ready and endure the things that he will make you go through. Now, that is actually what is happening in America now. People are going through things that they cannot even complain about, because they know for a fact that they were warned about this. They were warned against it, against doing this. And now they went ahead and did it. Now they're regretting, and they do not know even where to start. They're talking about black people not being supportive, black people not being, like joining them in demonstrations and, fighting against Trump. The Trump that the black people asked white people exactly not to vote for him. Yeah, they did that. They asked them not to vote for President Trump. And they went ahead and did it. Now, you do not expect those people to be on the front line to fight for you again when they warned you and you did not listen. And now when things are going south, you expect them to run, the black people that was years ago. They run to your rescue because you're white, because you're white supremacist, because you're white privileged. Yeah, black people are past those kind of things, that kind of behavior, that kind of life. Yeah, black people know who they are, and they decided loudly that they're going to let white people learn a lesson and learn it the hard way. Now white people gladly, they are learning their lessons, and it's tough, and I'm just hopeful that the next time there will be elections, they will be better, they will be fair, They will think about the interests of other people as well. They will not be selfish the way that they were this time when they were voting for Trump simply because he belongs to them, he's white. He will favor them, yeah? Now, when he has failed to favor them and he's only favoring billionaires, it becomes a problem. When he's only favoring his family and friends, it becomes a problem to them as well. Now, they expected that this was supposed to serve as a punishment to only black people. To their utter surprise, it is punishing everyone, every single one of them. And now that realization is what is making them to think black people should come through for us, black people should help us fight this menace. And it is justified of black people to not be there fighting with you people. So you try to fix your mess. Thankfully, there is always a chance to make it right when you will be on the polls again. Make it right, you know, show black people that you actually learned a lesson. Because if you don't, the lesson will keep repeating itself until you learn. So guys, I hope that you also are keeping safe from wherever you're watching me from. Thank you so much for watching the video to this point. I really appreciate each and every one of you, the ones that have subscribed. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please, I don't know what you're waiting for. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, be part of us, be part of this amazing family, and I am glad to have you around in every video that I make. Guys, I hope that you're keeping safe from where you are. I don't know what time you're watching this video, but good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and I will see you on my next one. Bye for now.